Hi, everybody, and welcome back to TV for Real, where reality and scripted TV collide. My name is Mike Bloom, and announcing her royal consort, Sasha Joseph. Sasha, how are you?
So happy to be here. We have finally made it. One for the girlies, all right? It's time to talk about girly shows, and we have done that, and I can't wait. This is going to be a great episode, y'all.
Yeah, so the major topic of discussion this week is going to be, of course, Bridgerton, which capped off the second part of its third season. I'm sure all of us have some thoughts about the way Netflix structured it out, but no matter how many episodes and when it comes out, we're going to be talking about it all, and I am so elated to be joined by this person. I mean, listen, whenever the queen shows up, the room stops, and we are so excited to welcome in a true reality TV queen of her own right. Of course, two-time Big Brother player, Big Brother winner, formerly of The Traitors, star in her own making, the lovely, the effervescent Rachel Reilly.
Thank you. It's Lady Rachel of Alabama Ton.
Not ton.
Yeah, what's the Alabama ton like? What are the promenades like in Alabama?
In Alabama Ton, the promenades are green. The flowers are plenty. There's plenty of tea in the form of gossip and drinkable.
Please invite me. I'm there. Oh my gosh.
And there, I have some flowers from my garden behind me.
Oh.
A fresh picked for this podcast. That's fact.
Oh my god.
But do you have the special centerpiece that we got at that one ball that does like the pop-up book fold over with all those flowers?
I don't have that, but I wish I did. These are real. They smell very good. They're like lilies because they bloom in the summer. And it took me forever to bloom to grow those because I'm really bad at growing things.
Much like you grew babies, so I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, you can't see them?
Oh, no, I said you grew babies, so I don't know what you're talking about. You're obviously good at growing.
Babies are human flowers, the more you think about it.
Babies are easy to grow. Yeah, babies are much easier to grow than flowers.
That's so real.
So, again, if you sort of missed the boat on what this podcast is, we get to bring in a reality star to talk about their thoughts on scripted television. And we are going to get into Bridgerton. But first, to use a piece of parlay, it's from Rachel's show of origin. I want to hear, Rachel, about your TV origin, in a manner of speaking. What do you remember is like some key shows that you obsessively watched growing up?
You know, I would not miss an episode of Saved by the Bell. Like growing up, I came home. So I'm in that like group of like, what is it? I guess 90s kids where we came home. The parents were out. They were, latchkey kids. We got a key, walked in the door. First thing we do, turn on Saved by the Bell. Second thing we do, grab some like popcorn or whatever and like literally watch it until my mom would come home and yell at me and tell me to get off the TV. So it was Saved by the Bell. It was TGIF was the big, like, my favorite thing in the whole world. Now, I was not allowed to watch SNL, but I would go to my friends' houses for sleepovers and watch SNL. Gosh, what else? I mean, I am not in the horror. Like, I'm scared of scary movies, so I'm not in that genre. But I, like, remember every Disney movie growing up, everything, like, for me, really, truly, like, growing up, it was, like, Saved by the Bell, TGIF, the family sitcoms.
Ooh.
Did Saved by the Bell give you any bad perspective as to what you thought high school was actually going to be? That there would all be these
that everyone would be popping caffeine pills.
Yeah, and like that they'd be like 30-something hot people walking around facing problems every week instead of going to class.
Right. Exactly, that I would be the next Kelly, like doing like some cheer, and all of a sudden my friends would be so excited. Maybe that gave me some of the best one-liners I've ever had. I don't know. These things shape us in different ways.
Mm-hmm. No, I love that. Were there shows, because you talked a lot about how this is something you did, but with your family, like were there shows that grounded all of you together to be like, yes, this is our thing. We're doing this as a family?
I mean, I'll be honest, it was always Survivor. Yeah. Like 2000 came and Survivor popped up on our TV screens. My parents wouldn't let me watch Big Brother. It was like, I know.
I think they knew. I think they
must have known, right? But it's funny because in 2001 when it came out, like it was in high school and I was like, you know, older, like, I don't know, I want to say 15 or 16 must have been. And my parents were like, no, it's too mature. It's a mature concept, but like Survivor is fine. Like put the people on the island, Richard Hatch walking around naked. Totally no big deal. But Big Brother, we're not so sure about that one.
Wow, I love this.
Yeah,
oh my God.
All the good old days. But yeah, I think we did. I mean, honestly, watching TGI Fridays, or what do they call it? TGIF, right?
I was gonna say that's the restaurant.
Yeah, TGI Fridays is the restaurant. You know, we did that too. We did that too.
I wonder, did TGI Fridays come before or after TGIF?
I think it was before. Because TGI Fridays had to have been out for a long time.
I mean, isn't that wild? I mean, I know Thank God It's Friday is like a concept that predates everything, but it must be so wild that there was a popular block of television and a chain restaurant that had pretty much the exact same name, and there was there had to have been so many mix-ups, especially
for sure
in the internet in the internet
they're like,
age.
is Steve Urkel here ordering a bowl of chili fries? I don't know.
Did I order that?
Oh, did I do that?
Exactly.
Okay, TGI Fridays did open in 1965.
Okay, so it's been around for a while.
Yes.
And TGIF, remember they had, so it was like Boy Meets World. It was like, oh my gosh, what's the Step by Step? We had Full House. I mean, I'm telling you, like, I grew up on the All-American family sitcoms. Like that is how my brain is wired. That is like, I want to live in an All-American family sitcom in my head. I do.
Ooh, which one? If you had to pick one.
Good question.
That's a good question. Well, I don't know. I mean, we're very like, Brendan and I met on a show. So I'm trying to think of like, is there a sitcom growing up where they met on like a show? I don't know. I can't think.
Oh, that would be funny.
Yeah. Like I can't really think of one that was like very, like we weren't in high school and we were not a blended family, like Step by Step.
Or Full House.
There really wasn't any of these family sitcoms that's like, hey, these two adults of, you know, great age met each other and then fell in love. Like there always was some sort of odd
like Full House had like the blended family. They all had like the big family stories. They want the big, like thousands of people is what they wanted, right?
Yes, ensemble shows.
Right. The bigger ensemble cast, the better. But yeah, I mean, I remember, I think just like growing up watching all these shows, like even the Wonder Years when I was little, like I used to love that show. They were kind of like more of a, like, you know, family of four kind of family, but they had like they had 5 kids or something, didn't they?
That's the thing. I don't know if they were just, was there just a secret underground conspiracy to like encourage the population to just produce as many children as possible of like,
100%.
Look, they can handle 3 kids, 4 kids, 5 kids. They're fine. You can be fine too.
Yeah. And then you have like your family, you know, the random storylines that they would always come up with.
Oh my God.
I loved all the random storylines. That was I was actually rewatching Boy Meets World because it's on Disney Plus again. And I was like, wow, these are some mature storylines. Like these are some like storylines like for kids. Like I don't understand. And I was never allowed to watch 90210 or Melrose Place. So that was the other one I always snuck. That's when I got to college. I watched 90210. That was, yeah.
Yeah, I'm to your point about Boy Meets World. I do recall very specifically there's like a latter day episode where Topanga gets hit on by like her TA, who is ironically enough, speaking of Wonder Years, played by Fred Savage, which must have been so freaking awkward on the set.
So crazy, right?
For so many reasons. Not to say that Ben Savage was necessarily, you know, in cahoots with her in a manner of speaking, but it must have been so odd in so many ways. And I don't know if Ben Savage himself would have maybe approved of the decision to have his own cousin,
right? Exactly.
portrayed as like this lecherous man.
I know. I loved it. And they had some crazy storylines. I guess Boy Meets World, they were like, I mean, I don't know how they met, but you remember what else? Clarissa Explains It All.
Oh, Clarissa. Oh my God. That was my show.
Clarissa was giving like the original DRs, right? She was talking straight to the camera.
100% original DRs. And she like also gave us the original, like like it's like very much filmed like a reality show where we get like all of the drama of what's going on at school, and she like tells us, you know, narrates it. That's great. Yeah, the original DRs. I love that. Yeah.
Ugh, and the fashion. Let's
And
never
the fashion.
forget.
The fashion's great. No,
The
I love
hair. Oh my God. I
the
just
hair.
obsessed with her.
And she had a pet alligator.
Yes. Like Clarissa was such a vibe. It reminds me of the Nickelodeon show, but the girls' room, right? Which was part of
yeah, this is like the Amanda show. Which
yes, the Amanda first of all, Amanda show.
It was a little, you know, differently colored in retrospect, given a lot of things, but still, I think if you take it as a time capsule, it's I mean, Rachel, you weren't allowed to watch SNL, but this feels like this and all that were sort of like, well, you
I got to watch
this.
all that. I got to watch all that. And it was that watching all that, I will always forever be a Keenan fan, you know?
Yes.
I think he is just a comedic, like, I love him. He's like my comedic genius. And the fact that he has like been on the most episodes ever of SNL, right? Yeah. I mean, he's amazing. I love him. I love watching him, and I love the fact that we got to watch him on all that, and now he's on SNL, and like, you know, it's fun. I love it.
Yeah, I can never take like Keenan like serious as an adult because I watched Keenan and Kel so much.
Of course.
That you feel sort of like that older relative, right?
Yeah.
Like, oh, my nephew's all grown up, but I still think of him as that 7-year-old kid who skinned his knee and cried.
Yeah. And then I watched Good Burger, the new Good Burger, and I was like,
oh yeah, how was the new Good Burger? I didn't watch that.
It's not good. It's not Good Burger. It's like it maybe if you're like a 5-year-old kid. My kids like kind of laughed at some of the jokes. And then I was like, no, but this is funny. And they're like, is it? And I was like, okay, if my 8-year-old daughter tells me, is it funny? Like she wants to, she's like, can we watch Justin and Adam the whole time? I'm like, no, we have to watch Good Burger. It's like, you know, it's a tradition. And then she's like, can we just watch Justin and Adam on YouTube? And I was like, ugh. Do you know
Killing me, Smalls?
So yeah, I have not reached the Justin and Adam age yet, but I've certainly reached the YouTube age when it comes to my 5-year-old child. Yeah, I'm curious, Rachel, did they use the C word? Did they call it cringe when they were watching it?
No, they didn't. But my daughter doesn't say cringe yet. She's not a TikTok girl, so she doesn't know cringe. She's a YouTube girl, so she knows Lanky Box, but she says bro all the time because Justin and Adam say bro for Lanky Box. And then she's moved on a little bit from Justin and Adam, and she's now on with Ben and Ben and Cam or something, the brothers that are like, we're gonna build a secret garage in our garage, and then by the way, we have 10 minutes to do it, but in 5 minutes, we're going to go to Target and we're going to come back and everyone from the YouTube universe is going to be here. Okay.
Not baby Mr. Beast.
No, baby Mr. Beast, yes.
Yeah, like I don't know. I hope these kids become like the next scientists. I hope they're like, we created a nuclear power reactor inside of our treehouse using only these 5 tips. Smash that subscribe button for cold fusion.
Oh my God, the other day my daughter said, how many likes did it get? And I was like, what? I'm like, you should not care about that. She's like, I know, but you know, like we're supposed to say at the end of every video that we're filming like and subscribe.
No!
And so now, every time I'm like, hey, can you film this for me? She's like and subscribe. And I'm like, oh, stop. I'm like, oh no, I totally did that. I did that to her.
Oh, that's so funny. This new generation of kids is really going to be the most fascinating. Like, I cannot wait.
It like actually, and well, you know, they're so smart. My daughter's so smart, and like they have all this information at their fingertips, but they know everything. Like stuff that we would never even think about to know because you'd have to go to a library and like look it up, right?
Yeah.
So like she'll just tell me random facts and I'm like, how did you know that? Like, and then sometimes she's like, well, I asked Alexa or like YouTube. And I'm like,
wow.
Well, okay, great. And even with our dog, like I was like, hey, can dogs eat grapes? And she's like, no, Mom, don't do it. And I'm like, what? And she's like, dogs cannot eat grapes. Ask Alexa, prove it to me. And I was like, okay, I'll prove it. Like, I don't know, but apparently dogs cannot eat grapes.
Wow.
Okay, I'm surprised you didn't see what like I saw Bertrand and Tommy say, we're going to feed a bunch of fruits to dogs and see how they react.
Exactly.
And whichever dog reacts the best gets $10,000.
Exactly, right?
Oh
And
God,
while
this
we're
is
doing
all
it,
that
we're going to
skit.
stop by Target to buy the entire store of dog food.
Yeah, for
Of
some reason, they
course.
always go to Target.
They always go to Target. Oh, every single time they're like, and we have 10 minutes to do it, but we're going to go to Target first. You're like, it takes you 10 minutes to get to Target anywhere you are. So like, guys, calm down.
No, the funniest thing is Walmart is so much cheaper. Like, why don't?
Well, but I wonder if it's like either a filming thing or if it's the sponsorship thing.
Yeah, you're right.
I love that Target's
Why
like,
not both?
Yeah, film your ridiculous viral videos.
Oh,
and send it to us.
100%.
We don't care. We need all the press we can get.
All the good
Exactly.
press. Okay.
They're like, we need
Oh
to
my
make Target
gosh.
look really cool. Yeah, Adora just also got into Salish, so she's like rewatching. Are you into Salish yet, Mike?
That sounds like some sort of made-up language.
Yeah. I
No,
was like, what is this?
she's the most popular YouTube girl apparently, and she's like maybe 15 or 16. But
Oh.
so she has a best friend. Oh, they do all these fun things.
Oh
They do
yeah,
a lot
just
of
look them
challenges.
up. Wow.
They're
Oh,
very-
it's like the new JoJo Siwa, but like more normal.
She's like
No, she looks like a kid. Like she
looks like a kid.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she does gymnastics, but she's like does the challenges. She's known for just like they do all the challenges. you know?
When my son is into now is Irish step dancing.
Oh yes, that's a big thing. Yeah,
We have there's random TikTok compilation of little boys
Irish step dancing. Yeah, I tried to get my daughter to do it. She doesn't want. She's not interested.
That's so
It's very cute. It's very cute. And especially when the like little ones do it, like the younger they are, the cuter the Irish step dancing is because they just can't do it. They're like, what is going on? And you're like, this is the best ever.
I love this. Rachel, are there any shows you're like excited to introduce? Maybe grown-up shows a little bit excited to introduce to your kids?
Well, I don't know. Like we watch Amazing Race together and we watch like some reality shows together. So I definitely enjoy doing that.
Are you training them for the inevitable season for one of them?
Of course I am. Like we literally built an obstacle course. We built a full obstacle course in our son's room in 1 hour. No. Yeah. So as far as like shows to watch with the kids, it's mostly for us still. We're doing like reality shows and yes, I do introduce them to all the shows because I want them to compete on them one day. But
yeah, well, I mean, speaking of, I suppose, parents putting their children in interesting situations and children breaking out of those boundaries, we should talk Bridgerton, shall we? So that being said, we are going to, I think, give some like general thoughts about the show up front before we get into spoilers from the third season, just so people have a chance to jump out if they want to before they stop promenading. But Rachel, I'm so intrigued from your perspective. Like, what's your background? Were you a book reader? What got you into the show?
I do try to read, but I have like this problem where I'm like reading a book and then I get distracted or busy or whatever. But so I did start reading the third book. So it's this season 3 book. So I started reading it on I think on like my Kindle or something. And then I hadn't finished it yet before the show came out. But I was like, the new season's coming out. I might as well start reading the book, seeing what's going on. Because I didn't do that with the first 2 seasons.
Good.
I got into it because everyone was talking about it. And like being a Netflix girly, we watch like all the shows and
is that your brand? Is that your streaming service of choice?
No, my streaming service of choice now is actually Peacock, which is like, yeah.
Well, listen, you've got that loyalty going on.
Right? No, but not even because of the loyalty, Mike. Honestly, it's because of the shows. Like it's the fun shows on Peacock. I really, truly enjoy. Like they have really great reality right now. I feel like they have really good scripted stuff. Brendan's staring at me. Mike Bloom and Sasha.
Hi, Brendan.
Hi.
We're talking about Bridgerton.
Oh, Bridgerton.
Yes.
Ooh, what do you feel about Bridgerton?
Yeah, have you gotten sucked into it, Brendan?
Is that 50 Shades of Bridgerton? Or
I mean, there's some shades happening. Yeah.
My husband's
I
like
figure
every
you
time
just
I
get
come
some,
down.
English dialogue and some sex scenes and sold, right?
Yeah, I mean that is all you need.
I mean,
yeah.
that's how I heard it.
Yeah.
Sold for
All right.
multiple seasons.
That is the
Hey,
show.
good to see you guys. I'm gonna head back down to the garage.
All right, good to see you too,
My
Brendan.
day off is a work day.
Yeah.
The
he's working
secret
on it.
The
garage.
secret
Yeah.
garage within the
Yes.
garage.
He has 24 hours to totally clean and renovate the garage.
Oh god.
We're doing YouTube family.
Yeah.
Yes, Brendan's tone can indicate how he feels about YouTube family.
Oh no, I have a video of him doing YouTube guy. Like I am we call it in the house, we call it YouTube dad. And when it drives Adora crazy. So anytime that we're like trying to drive her crazy, we do YouTube dad.
I love this.
I'll send it to you guys to attach. No.
Please.
Who's your favorite Bridgerton character after these first few seasons?
Well, the Duke. It was always my favorite. But I mean, like, obviously, like Violet, because she's the mom of the whole thing. And like, I don't know, I really loved Queen Charlotte. Like the Queen, did you talk about this show ever, Queen Charlotte?
Yes, we did on another, not on on this
That was-
podcast. Yes.
So as far as story and like heart, that was my favorite Bridgerton so
Mhm.
far. But like I love them all. Like I don't know, they're all like such great characters. I feel like you can kind of like relate to everyone. Like the girls kind of, I don't know why, but it reminds me of Little Women, like older little, like a more scandalous Little Women kind of thing. Like I don't know why. It just is like maybe because there's like sisters and brothers and the English
And like taboo. Yeah.
taboo, yeah.
Mhm.
Exactly. So I don't know. So I like watching their characters develop as well. And I love the family storylines. I thought season 2 was not as good as season 1, and I thought season 3 was really fun. So I think that like, and they said, I read an article where they said they don't think that they will realistically have another Bridgerton for 4 more years.
Two more years.
Oh, thank God.
So it's
Oh,
every
no,
2
hopefully not
years.
4 more. I don't want to have.
No,
All right. Well,
are you sure? Because I
Yeah,
read
2026 they said. I
oh my
think.
God, because I don't want this to be like, okay, there's presidential elections, there's the Olympics, and there's a Bridgerton season, all in a 4-year period.
right? Well, I'm pretty sure I read that he
Oh.
said 4 years. He said realistically he didn't see it happening. The
What?
executive
I
producer-
will physically fight.
You're gonna have
these
to
people.
Let me
recast
Google
those
it.
kids
Let me
all over
Google it.
again. That's,
Yeah.
that's ridiculous. That's the thing is, we're not talking House of the Dragon, but like, I do feel like that's really the downside of having these shows that take like 2 or 3 years to come back, is that not only do you run into the Stranger Things issue, but also this idea of people just don't really remember. Sometimes they don't care. You know, there's an advantage to
Yeah.
coming back year after year, and that people can remember what just happened before it. And then at the same time, there's a buy-in and sort of a reliancy in, okay, there's my annual check-in with the Bridgertons. I mean, that's the way the show basically is, right? That it's like, oh, this is the summer season. Every single time we're checking back in after a year away. It should be the same thing, arguably, with shows.
Yeah,
It
I mean,
should.
while the little kids who are only supposed to be maybe a year older are now looking so much older, like Gregory and Hyacinth, and they were supposed to be young, but
Right.
stop playing with us, streaming.
I know.
services.
Well, and like I will be honest, when we watched House of Dragon the other night, and I was like, I have no idea. I had to like Google everything because I was like, what happened? Why are they fighting? Like, what had happened? Like,
Correct.
I just didn't remember anything. And then I remember I thought that they said 2025 originally. So the fact they got it out in 2024 was good. But like, I just feel, I don't know, like same thing. And I don't know, did House of Dragon get as good of a review 4 years later?
I mean, it definitely, the viewership is definitely not as big as it was, but it did get renewed for season 3. So
Yeah, so that's good.
yeah.
Because I know like Bridgerton, I feel like we've gotten a season, some sort of Bridgerton season every year, right?
That's true.
Oh
I
yeah,
guess-
because of Queen Charlotte.
Because of
Yes.
Queen Charlotte. So we
Mhm.
have gotten it. So for them to wait for a few years will be, I mean, that would be really interesting. But I can't find the article I read.
Yeah,
I
me
should, like
neither.
pulled it up.
Here we are.
Um,
Maybe they did a Kardashian and scrubbed it from the internet.
right? No, I mean I definitely read it, and I felt like the showrunner. Okay, wait. He
Either
said,
way, yeah,
yeah.
it is what it is.
so either way, they did say it's not going to be next summer.
No,
Yeah, and that's
that we
tough.
can agree.
And that's
Yes.
tough because it's only 8 episodes too. It's not like,
Right.
oh well, at least we have a 20+ episode season to enjoy. We have 8 hours with these people broken up into 2 chunks of 4 hours, and then that's it. See you in
Yeah.
2 years. Hopefully
Yeah.
these are the same people.
Right. Well, hopefully they're the same people, but also like the story, like you said, they do look so much older, and then the storylines you have to follow, and like it's supposed to be they're coming out every season. That's where every season or every show they start out with the coming out ball, where it's like who's being presented this season, that
Who's
kind
the
of thing.
diamond?
So, yes, the diamond. Who is the diamond? And Lady Whistledown. And so I feel like it's going to be interesting, which I thought season 3, I was very interested by. Are we doing spoilers yet? I don't know.
Yes,
Sure. Yeah. Everyone clear out. We're on the, what was it? The dark walk right now. We're in the,
yes.
don't venture any further if you don't want to know spoilers.
Right.
I'm sure we have a lot of stuff
Why
to talk about with season 3.
Okay. So why is her being Lady Whistledown such a big deal? Like, why does she think Colin is going to care so much? Like, I don't understand that at all. And I have not finished the book, but I just feel like if Colin loves her, like, why would he care? Right?
Oh, because she's dogged his ass out and his family and aired every.
That's the end. Remember the beginning of the season when like she was feeling Mondo jealous over him coming back with like Danny Zuko hair and an attitude to boot, and she's like, "Well, Colin Bridgerton thinks his shit don't stink, but he smells like crap." And I think he obviously took a lot of offense to that. I will also let me throw out a bit of a hot take here, and I will say I got into the show. Largely through my wife. She is a huge fan of Regency era romance. Actually, right here on the video, these is an anniversary gift I got her, which are paintings of the shots from the Keira Knightley, Matthew McFadden, Pride and Prejudice, when he gets her off the carriage and he does the thing with his hand. So I was indoctrinated into that. And I really enjoyed it. I didn't think I would, but I watched season 1 right before season 2, where I like freaking fell in love. I'm a Kate and Anthony shipper. Forever.
Oh, I love them. The unfortunate thing is, don't read the books, because book 2 is so much better than the show, and it's unfortunate because as an Indian woman, I finally get some representation on these damn shows, and then they just like make it about Edwina the whole time. But anyway, this is not season 2.
That being said, it's a little bit tough to pale in comparison. That I don't know if this is a hot take, but like Colin's pretty boring.
Yes.
Oh, no, yeah. Period.
But especially compared to the other brother.
Correct.
Yeah, like Anthony had this yes, he was grumbly, but he had this whole arc, and Benedict is my boy. He's, sapphic and footloose and fancy free. And then here we have Colin, who like it's kind of the slice of white bread that comes with your breakfast. And it's like, I guess I'll sop up some egg with it if I need to. Like the fact that he had that whole monologue at the end, right? Where to your point, Rachel, about like, why did he care so much about Lady Whistledown, where he admits like, yes, I was actually jealous the entire time that you could have done this and I cannot. And it's like, I don't know any of this. That I tracked nothing on your character. I knew that you went away for a while and you gallivanted with a bunch of different ladies, and now you came back, and that's pretty much all I knew about. And the fact that he held a candle for Miss Marina back in season 1 before that became a big
2. Remember, he went to visit her.
Oh, he did go to visit her, yeah. So, but that's all I really know about this guy. So it's tough, and I would say that by far Nicola Coughlan and Penelope were the MVP that was able to bring this storyline over the line.
Yeah, for sure. And I think Penelope is the whole season 3, right? Like it's the fact that she's Lady, and we've seen her grow up and develop so much, and her characters develop. But like, also, I want to know why her best friend in the whole world did not know she had a crush on her brother. Like, how is that not? I just can never figure that out.
I think that this is not shade, but it is to the Bridgertons, that I do think there is an air of privilege and delusion that comes with being a Bridgerton, where right, like I just don't think they see anyone outside of their circle and or their family, to where I think Penelope is always the friend. So it's always like, well, you're just there, you're my friend, and you've always been there for me. Mind you, it's known that Colin and Penelope actually knew each other before Eloise.
Yeah. Right. And that she literally is consistently always like trying to get a gaze from him or whatever.
Yes.
Like trying to sneak a dance, but then she's too nervous. And it's just like, to me, I'm always like, what? How is this so unobvious to her best friend?
I don't know. Eloise, I think, has her head in very different books, even though she has, I really like her character and how frustrating she can be. Like, unlike some other people, I sort of understand the catharsis that comes with, especially in the first like 2/3 of the season, just how mad she is at Penelope, and she does come back to that side. But I do enjoy the fact that like sometimes she is just that snide character in the corner with a cutting remark about how stupid all this is.
100%. And I love the snide character remarks. But that's also my Little Women thing, because I always felt like she was Jo. And then I wonder if, because I also read this thing that she's going away, Eloise is going away. So I'm like, I wonder if that's going to be her time to like go away and like rediscover herself or whatever, so will the next season be all about her? I didn't read the book, so don't, that's why I'm just like dreaming, because I didn't read any books.
I do believe, without saying too much, that I believe next season, when it comes in the year 2034, is the Benedict season, I think.
Yeah, allegedly.
Okay.
Because when they did the ending, this isn't spoiling anything. It's just when they did the end of our season finale, of this season, Benedict talks about the masquerade ball.
Right.
And that is where he meets his love interest. So maybe, so that's like the breadcrumb that we get. And then maybe Eloise, because Eloise doesn't meet her man for years. So
right.
I don't know how, like I said, I have no idea how they're going to do that, but.
Right. Well, that's why I was wondering if the writer was inspired. Do we know the writer who inspired the writer to write this?
Lady Whistledown. She's the writer, right?
Julia Quinn, you mean?
Yes. Who inspired her to write? Like, what inspired her to write the books? Do we know?
I think she was also, a Regency romance person. Okay. So she ends up, writing all of this.
Did you ever debate, Rachel, naming your children in alphabetical order?
Well, I did.
Oh, I guess it's true. You did.
I did. So my daughter's Adora and my son is Adler. And then my dog is Angel. So yes, as a matter of fact.
I'd much rather compare you to Violet Bridgerton than to Kardashian.
That's why I said I find myself, romanticizing my life as Violet often. Although Violet is very like, I feel like she wants more, always like the lust, like she's always lusting, but she doesn't want anyone to know she's lusting. Like I always find her like to be that character where she's like the mom in the background that wants to be on the dating apps, but like there's,
we make a significant step forward here where she's like plundering the Danbury pool, as it were. Though I will say, again, maybe this is the market demo opinion. In my opinion, too many characters, too many storylines. Really? I don't care about the guy who owns the club. Like he seemed like
I love them.
I think he seemed like a fine guy. I don't necessarily need.
I will die for them.
I don't need to check in with him and his family every single episode of like, the noble life is scary. I don't know what I'm doing. Like it just found a lot to keep track with. Like I understood if we're focusing on the Bridgerton family, and even if we're doting upon like what are these rando Featherington evil stepsisters doing a couple times, but when we would go to like that particular couple and the family, I think it's a fun storyline. Like I would love to see a separate story entirely about here's a working class family that becomes nobles, but like I didn't need to check in every time about him pining for his club.
Right. Well, that's why I wonder, do you think that they're trying to create these like other worlds with this because it's such a success?
Not the Bridgerton cinematic universe.
Right? I mean, kind of, though. Like, look, Queen Charlotte was such a hit, too. Like, they would.
I think they're just trying to say that, hey, we're using the source material as, like, scaffolding or, like, a skeleton, but we're not trying to stick to it because in the books, the queen isn't involved.
No.
At all. Lady Danbury, I don't think is even this involved. So.
No, Lady Danbury's not involved at all. Like
Exactly.
Started reading the book and I didn't hear barely anything about her.
Yep, exactly. So I think, Mike, you're touching on a good point, which has been my issue actually since season 2, that they're adding a bunch of side characters and it's taking away from the main love story. And the reason for people like me, at least, that didn't read the books before for season 1, we get lost and we're just like, no, it was hot. Daphne and the Duke were hot. And I want to know more about how this like beautiful love story happens. And then book 2, again, it's the same thing where in the book, their love story is beautiful. They're older. So they get to be, it's a little bit more enemies to lover, which is my favorite trope ever. And then third book, it's a little bit more like best friends now are falling in love. Like you said, Rachel, go ahead, give me nothing, right? With Colin and Mike, like I'm with you on the Penelope runs this because She's beautiful. Her body is banging. And there's scenes where she is able, I don't know if we're jumping there, sorry.
No,
but,
let's jump. Are we jumping to the mirror? Is that what we're
that's what I'm
to?
saying. That mirror scene is beautiful. And the way they shoot it is amazing. I'm just grateful we're living in the world where Nicola is living in. That's what I know.
Yeah. No, I love that. But then also to that point, I still felt like season 1 was more steamy.
Yeah. But that's like Daphne's story is like she's a silly, like, and Violet has shielded her from everything. So she's learning more versus Kate, who's older, does know about it. So
yeah. And I will also say, with no offense to the actor who plays Colin, I mean, like, when you're compared to Regé Jean Page, like, which is the definition of a steam pipe, like, you're gonna obviously pale by comparison.
I mean, anyone would have paled by comparison. Like the fact that they cast him in that role and that how it was so steamy, that's what made Bridgerton.
Yeah.
Like, by the way, it would have never been such a success if they did not have him as the Duke. Like, I mean, I still like daydream about it. No, my husband's great.
Listen, both can be true. Why not?
Right.
Is there a relationship, not even with how you met, because again, I would only imagine what reality shows look like, though I guess was Lady Whistledown sort of the live feed reporter of the Tone?
Totally. Lady Whistledown is the live feed
she's
reporter.
Karen coming in every day being like, you won't believe what happened at 2 p.m. in the kitchen.
And because she has that like live feed view where she sees everything, right? Because somehow she's always up in the mix. How does she know everything? You know? And like very much like a live feed where you have the kitchen view and you have the backyard cam and you have the, storage room cam. So you know everything that's going on all the time.
Now, that being said, what would you compare from like a dynamic perspective, your and Brendan's relationship to the most from a couple on this show?
Maybe Anthony, maybe season 2. What was her name?
Yeah, Anthony and Kate.
Yeah, Anthony and Kate, yeah. But I don't know. We were never enemies because she was very much the Taming of the Shrew, right? Like, it was that play. So we were, I don't know, maybe but I wasn't like Daphne. And like, but it was that steamy. But I wasn't like, I knew what was, I knew all the things.
Yeah, and I think I will, like I said, not to simp for the books. I'm sorry, y'all. Read a book though. Anyway, but I will say I actually see why you're saying that, Rachel, about Anthony and Kate, because they were always attracted to each other from minute 1 in the book.
Yeah.
Like he was always there for Edwina, but it's so obvious. Like even the little sister knows. So everyone is doing hijinks to place them together and send them on walks, whatever. So I actually think that from that it works for you and Brendan, because you even though you were like, oh, maybe we shouldn't, or like we need to be a little bit more quiet, you just couldn't, because you're always drawn to each other. So I actually think because of that it makes sense.
Okay, yeah, because we're definitely not Penelope and Colin, but I love their story too.
Yeah, good for them. Yeah. But not for us. Yes.
Mostly good for Penelope.
I also feel like Brittany has such Eloise energy sometimes with the remarks that she makes.
Right? 100%. Yes, her diary rooms. Yeah. I really can't wait to see how those play out on the Traitors.
It's gonna be so good. Yeah. Brittany just telling everyone I hate them.
I mean, I hope she does. Like, I really, like, there's so many big personalities. So I think the editing, we'll see, like, what happens with the editing. But I think that she will be very much like the Brittany from season 12. I'm hoping, crossing fingers.
No, I think so.
Yeah. For those of you that don't know, it has already been spoiled. We're not ruining anything.
Yes.
Brittany Haynes from Big Brother season 12 and 14 is on the Traitors. And we're very excited for that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, speaking of spoilers, I mean, we got to go back to Lady Whistledown here, because obviously when you have like Penelope, it was going to eventually come to a head. And what I thought was interesting was, again, I'm not a book reader, but like how it was spaced out, where the first 4 episodes was all about this courtship of Colin and Penelope. And then the second half is like, well, he's going to find out eventually about Lady Whistledown, and you got to find out how to deal with it. And it leads to this giant fallout. Rachel, how did you feel it all ended, especially with, this kind of third act stand that Penelope makes to tell everyone, oh, I'm Lady Whistledown and this is why I did it, but I'm done with gossip because I'm in my own now?
Yeah, I like that. So I liked the way that it ended, but I also wanted her to still be Lady Whistledown. So I was disappointed because, again, like I said, I didn't finish the book and I don't know what's going to happen. But what do we really have in Bridgerton without our Lady Whistledown, right? I mean, and the fact that she had to come clean about it, I just don't think that had to happen. If I was writing the books, as a published author myself,
Period.
There we go.
But if I was writing the books, I think I would have kept that out of the storyline. Maybe kept it in the plot, but like not did the big reveal. Because like, why? Like now I don't know, what are we gonna have? Like, do you know, Sasha? You said you read the books. Like,
yeah, I didn't read the third book yet because I was ruined by the second book and how much I liked it and I hated the show. So I decided not to read it because I didn't want to be annoying like I was about book 2. So I will now read it. So I haven't started yet.
Well, what do you all think?
Yeah, it's tough because the way it signs off is it quite literally transitions the voice from Julie Andrews to Nicola. So maybe it's now just a matter of like she's gonna still write a column. Like, is it that she's become Dear Abby, where the identity is less than sort of the weight of the trademark of the name? But like the downside of that is now how many people are going to be up her ass being like, oh, I've got this gossip that you want to put in your column. I think throwing off that anonymity also makes her kind of a local celebrity and gives all these opportunistic bastards an opportunity to slide into her DMs and be like, oh, I've got this hot tip for you.
Right. 100%. And also I kind of think too that like, not only does it give that, like when the anonymity is there, people are like more open to talking to her because nobody knows. And so she has the real story. But when it's not there, you run into social media, right?
Yes.
I
agree.
Everything is going to be filtered through a new filter, and everything is going to be like a different story from someone's perspective, but you're not going to ever know the real story, the real truth. So I like the anonymity. Like, I like that the whole fun of it for me was always that Whistledown was anonymous and was always spilling the tea and nobody knew. And it was just like, everyone was excited about it in town. That was also fun. So I don't know. It creates a different world that they're going to be living in.
Yeah, and just so if folks were wondering, it is revealed to the reader in book 4, which is Colin's book, not 3, whatever. And we don't even know it's a Gossip Girl, where the writer, I think, like Julia Quinn wasn't, 100% exactly on who Lady Whistledown would be, and then it gets revealed because Lady Danbury does the 1,000-pound reward to whoever reveals it.
That's my girl. That's my favorite character. I love me some Lady Danbury.
I love Jane Barry.
She's definitely like one of the less complicated characters in the show, but I am a sucker for like this one person that's kind of above it all and is always the smartest person in the room and also is the only one to like actually have the ear of this queen.
And the ear of Violet and the ear of, I think she's like the ear of everyone, truly. And that was also what I thought was what I really liked about Queen Charlotte was that Danbury's character came out so much more in Queen Charlotte. And we got to see the friendship and we got to see the why. And I loved the stories that they told in Queen Charlotte, how it tied into the universe of the Bridgerton family.
Yeah, we get a reference to that in this season, right? Where Violet's like, yeah, you were getting friendly with my dad. It's okay. I get it.
No, I just feel like this new story for Violet is just a get back at Lady Danbury. Because she's like, you messed with my dad. Now I'm messing with your brother. We're back, baby. Like, that's all I could think of.
Oh, I like that. I never saw. Yeah, I like that. I never thought of that like that.
I want to. I want a war between these families now that
I want them to be besties.
I want them to be best friends forever too. They have to be.
Well, they'll be sister-in-laws soon enough.
True. Girlies stick together. Okay.
Yeah. Unlike the Feathertons. So, do we hate the mother as well? Because I didn't like her in the first season. The second season. Whatever. Third season, I felt like they gave her a little more juice to the character where it was like, we understand her more, but I still like don't know. You know what I mean?
It's tough because like, I'm grateful they did it. Like when they did that one scene where she was like explaining to Penelope about like, my husband was cruel, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
I would never want that to happen to you. At the
Right.
same time, though, I also kind of appreciate tropey characters sometimes. Like I want to get into Cressida eventually. We'll talk about
Yes.
Cressida. That I sort of understand, especially in a modern day lens, like, oh, we want to explain everyone's side of the story and everything. But sometimes I kind of like just mustache twirly villains. And, Mrs. Featherington, I don't know if we needed like the whole storyline of her, misappropriating those funds and trying to hide from that solicitor the entire time. I thought, honestly, if we just focused her relationship with Penelope the entire season, that would have been fine with me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I love the Featheringtons in that I think we need someone that's just gonna irritate us, because the Bridgertons are so perfect, right? In the way that they're presented to us, in the way their house is presented, in their outfits, right? Like literally everything. Versus I think the Featheringtons, where we have these people in these like ridiculous outfits, hot mess house.
Oh, did you love, by the way, that the song that Penelope walked down the aisle to, do you know what it was?
Yeah, Yellow.
Yellow by Coldplay.
Mhm.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Yes.
Well, also that was something else in the book that was a big deal, because I do remember I got up to that part of the book with her dress color changing or whatever.
Yes.
Mm.
So like to just represent that she's coming into her own and she's not wearing the yellow anymore. So I thought that was very interesting that they went into that much detail.
Yeah, and I personally I agree. Rachel also loved the sisters, like the evil stepsisters. They're
Yeah.
a hot mess.
They
When
are.
they
I love
talk
them too.
about sex and needing to get pregnant,
Yeah.
I think that storyline carried the first half of the season.
That was
yeah.
one of the
We
best
were-
lines in Bridgerton
It was
history, right?
amazing.
Like when he enters where?
Yeah.
He's supposed to enter. Like these mamas have these girls looking like clowns out
Mhm.
here, and I hate that for us. But yeah, so I think that the second half of season 3 didn't need the Featheringtons as much, right? But
Right.
because we don't focus on the main love story at hand, they need to give us extra fodder. And then the stepsister, not actually, but the sisters and the Featheringtons carried it for me. I think they're so funny and so silly, and they're married to Dumb and Dumber.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
oh,
like, it
yeah.
feels like they're married to like the Regency equivalent of like gas station employees. Like they have no titles; they were just these random commoners that they fell
Yeah.
in love with.
Yeah. And they're like, then they have daughters, which is like also very great at the end when they're like, and I'm glad that we had girls.
Mhm. And I want her to be a writer, and I said gross. That's what
Yeah,
that
I
is.
know.
Gross.
I know. I just
Yeah,
thought
so I like I said, I think it goes back to, right, like that we want more of our spotlight on our main characters,
Yeah.
which is why I think we get so caught up and irritated with the others. For me, it was Eloise last season where I was like, enough, she'll get her own book.
Yeah.
Like, give us
Well-
Kate and Anthony.
Well, then let me ask, what did you think about the Francesca side of things? Because it felt like that was sort of like the supplementary romance, right, between her and John Kilmartin that they used to kind of underlie. Again, if not to say too much about the books, but I certainly have been informed
Exactly.
some stuff to come with her.
Yeah, that's why I don't know if we want to spoil it, the books piece of it, but yeah.
Yeah,
So
but what did you think about at least this season, Rachel?
Yes.
About the entire turn of the diamond turning to a different gem in the cave?
I like that too, because I think it's like, look, like we saw in Queen Charlotte too. Like I keep going back. That was my favorite Bridgerton
as it should be.
like franchise. So I think that it's nice to see that, because it's like we see her picking one person, and then it doesn't always have to be this one person, right? It's like that, and it's always, to me, I think in my head, like when I'm watching this, like fantasizing me living in that time period, of course. Like, would I have been picked as the diamond? And if I was picked as the diamond, could I be the gem that comes and overtakes the diamond? And maybe it's a ruby who is more rare than the diamond, as a matter of fact, And like, so I always think of that, and I don't know. I liked it. I like the way that they portrayed it in the second half of the season.
Yeah, I like John Kilmartin. Like he was perfectly personifying the awkward people.
Yeah.
And I felt seen in that moment when he bombs a joke and he like has to go back and get coached by Francesca and then comes back and tells the funny story all over again. And he cared so much about him. I like when he was like broing out with all the Bridgertons as well. I mean, though the big thing, Sasha, I think to take away is not even John Kilmartin, but the person introduced right at the tail end of it.
Yes, we meet Michaela Sterling. And this isn't, if this is a spoiler for you, I'm sorry, y'all. I don't know what else to say. But Michael Sterling is who's Francesca's love interest. So I don't want to spoil how all of that happens. Let it be. But I feel excited. I thought Eloise would be the queer love story.
Divide her in two, and you've got 2 Bridgerton siblings that are experimenting this season.
And neither of them are Eloise. What are the odds?
Yeah, I always thought that Eloise would be as well, but I love it. I'm all about this. Like,
yeah, I mean, the wild Benedict story. Benedict, I think, is my favorite because they just send him on the wildest storylines. Like, oh, he's gonna fall into this like Craven art house in season 1, and now in season 3, he's in a menage a trois for a good portion of the season. Like,
yeah,
I love the fact that he is kind of this guy randomly wandering around alleyways and finding himself in trouble, which makes me even either more or less excited that he's going to become a main character, because I kind of like him as that supporting character, the guy sitting on the swings with Eloise being like, I'm not going to grow up, not going to settle down whatsoever. I'll get off to all my random misadventures as Benedict.
Yeah, he's such a himbo, and we need more himbos on TV. I miss himbos. So I just feel that Benedict is hilarious. He gives off very much spare energy, right? Where Anthony's like, I can't believe you actually got work done. And he's like, dude, I'm not an idiot. What the heck? And then we just he's going into orgies here. He's getting threesomes here. What? He ain't got no storyline. They're just saying Benedict's story is sex.
Troublemaker.
Yes.
But that's the fun of him. And like, we see that though a lot throughout the seasons and the books where all the boys are getting into these troubles, right? And like, I think that's part of it. Also, like, wasn't that the thing in the time period? Like, they would kind of get into trouble and then they would just like, oh, and now we're married and, life starts or whatever. But yeah, it's about the life before the life.
Yes, the rakes. Okay, talk about rakes. I love that the F boys are called rakes.
Yeah.
I do, dare I venture a comparison here?
Ooh.
Rachel, was Kate Chastain the Cressida Cowper of the Traitors?
I will fight you as a below deck stan.
She was. No, but you know why? Because she was just not good at being a faithful.
Okay, that's fine.
But I was thinking like the argumentative stuff, the fashion sense in particular.
Yeah. Oh yeah, she wanted to come at me. Like, if that's the case, then yes, then I am the diamond here. And like Krista is trying to pull my diamond. I'm also the ruby that is like coming up, the gem they didn't know they needed. Like, and yes, then that's Kate. But I feel like that's funny too, because I always say that I'm the person that goes on these reality shows and sparks the fire. Like, I'm the fire starter because I get under people's skin. I win things. I like say stuff. And you almost need that catalyst. So in that case, then I'm like, well, maybe am I the Cassandra? I don't know. Like,
the thing is, because I have been watching Below Deck like since season 1. So to me, and then I've been watching Big Brother since forever. So in my mind, you were best friends.
Okay.
And then I see you on Traitors, and then I say, what happened? Do I need to go in there and be like, no, you're the same. You have yelled at people literally the same way. Like she out of towels, made a rocket ship on one of the guests, like mind you, the primary guest, the worst person paying for the whole charter.
That sounds like something one of the Featheringtons would do by accident.
Yes, and she like made that, and she was like, well, you're being a rocket ship. So I made it and left it on your bed for you as a towel animal. So that's why in my mind, like, y'all are like the best and the funniest together. It's more that you're both like Eloise and funny in that way.
Yeah. And I feel like this is the thing, when Kate came back for the second season, she didn't have the spark, the fire starter as much. And so we didn't get to see Kate in the second season to the where I wanted her to be. And I did enjoy her personality more in the first season. Like I really, in the first season, it was the Kate season. The second season was Phaedra, like for the traders. And that was because Kate didn't have the fire starter. She didn't have that person to like go back and forth with. And also, I always say this in every interview I do, because I think it would have been great. I should have been the person to pour the bugs on Kate. Like, wouldn't that have been perfect? With the maggots and the crickets and the things and throwing them on Kate's head at the cabin. It would have been chef's kiss, full circle.
Yes. I would have loved.
Are you sad there wasn't a Traitors Challenge where you all had to prevent a hot air balloon from floating into the air with Penelope Bridgerton in it?
Yes.
Oh my God. Imagine y'all just like, heave.
That would have been amazing. That would have been amazing.
That was so goofy. That was so goofy. I'm sorry. I know. I think it was probably like a big set piece, but what a wild set of coincidences of like, oh no, the hot air balloon is out of control.
Right?
And it scooped and it stopped and nearly hit Penelope, but Colin and his swarthy men stopped it.
I didn't know there was hot air balloons in this era. So is that a me thing being?
I think this is a vibes only show.
Yeah.
You can't.
Are hot air balloons the TGI Fridays of this era?
Right. That's what I'm wondering. Like, I didn't even know there was hot air balloons around back then. So
yeah, no, I think this is you just go vibes because the folks are talking about their outfits don't match. And again, why is Kate an Indian woman not in any Indian outfits? Put me in, coach.
Well, they're going back to India though to have the
did
baby.
And didn't they do for one of her outfits? Didn't they do very like traditional outfit? Like,
no, she has no traditional outfits. It's crazy.
No traditional.
She has jewelry that's traditional.
Okay.
But again, it's giving like from the street jewelry. Yeah. But either way, it's also Rachel. Anthony says, "What am I, chopped liver?"
And I was gonna say
hasn't been.
I know
that is like
Jews, we know.
1920s vaudeville.
Yes. So it's like Ashkenazi Jews like brought that up way later. But then there's a whole Twitter thread that the Bridgertons are actually Jewish, and it all makes sense. And I said, "Sign me up. I'm there."
Yeah.
Obviously.
I think you just have to go with it. You just we live with whatever, like you said, it's about the vibes. We just live with whatever they tell us. This world exists.
Yeah.
There's hot air balloons. Maybe there's a cell phone. I don't know.
Honestly,
there's just one cell, like with a Game of Thrones, there's just gonna be a random cell phone that shows up.
Exactly, a random cell phone. Whatever. We go with it.
I love that would be so. Can you imagine?
Lady Whistledown starts a podcast? Sure. Why not?
Period.
That's basically what she's doing at this point. Do you wish that Julie Chen Moonves interacted with you more like the way the Queen interacts with everyone in Bridgerton?
Literally. And like listen, any show, Julie Chen just does not interact with us, right? But like, yes, I love how the Queen is just always interacting with her court. Like she just like loves them. She like thrives off of all of this drama. She just like, it's so much fun to watch her picking out this, like picking the diamonds, and then she picks the couples that need to be together and the parties and the thises and the that's. And I'm always like, this is, if I was Queen, I would do that too.
Yeah, same. I identify very much with Queen Charlotte.
Me too.
The older version. Because I was like, no, that's me. Like, I just want to sit and judge people, and they all have to cower to me. It's just, wow. That is my dream.
Oh my gosh. When I was in the UK recently, I went to the gardens, the Royal Botanical Gardens, and the Queen Charlotte house is there. And it's their actual house. And it's like amazing. And they have like the wig from the show in there.
Wow.
And and like it's crazy because the house, first of all, it's huge. The grounds are huge. But like, the fact they were like, I was reading all the historical versus the show, right? Like it's all messed up. Like nothing adds up. That's why we just go with it. We just go with it. But like in the house, like even the bedrooms were so small, like in the real houses back, like they were small bedrooms. They had like these private doors where all the staff would go through. And like, it was so interesting to see. And they even had separate rooms, obviously, for the like kings and queens, which we do kind of see in the show. But it was just very interesting to go to that house. It was cool. If you go to the UK, It's at the Royal Botanical Gardens.
Interesting.
And it's the real house, like the Queen Charlotte house. Of the real
Wow.
Queen.
And
But they do have a lot of memorabilia from the show.
I was gonna say the
So
wig.
cool.
I would love to see just any wigs on display because the
Yes.
wigs,
Oh my god.
like
It
when
was huge. It was, I mean, I'm telling you, like the fact that she gets into this costume
Mhm.
in general, like they all need to win awards for that because the wig was like, it's huge. Like it's the size of a giant, like the shadow box had to have been, I mean, I can't even think in my head how big it was, but it was just like bigger than, almost as big as a human. Like it was just like, it
Wow.
was so tall. And the wig inside of it is like very, very tall.
should Julie wear those types of wigs? Because she wore the
Oh.
bob last
Not
year.
the
And I feel like that. And I feel like that was the equivalent of
bob.
like the
Yes.
one wig she wore at Swan Lake this
Yes.
season on Bridgerton.
No.
Of like, oh my
I
god,
would
this
love-
is scandalous.
Julie at this point just should go for it. Just go for it. Julie.
Yes.
If you're watching and if your stylist is watching, we want you to just go for it. Do a different hairdo. Do a different wig every episode. Do a gown. Do a thing. She does it like you know how Julie likes to like dress like the kids, you know, like very much
Them
like,
jeans, girl. What is happening?
yes. And I love her for that. Like she always looks great. She always looks amazing. But like,
Yes.
let's do like Julie, just go for it.
I
You know
just think
what?
she's
Let's
so
just go.
beautiful, and she should like do more because she's beautiful. And
Yes.
anyway, everyone should
She
wear
should
whatever
just
they
go
want.
have
but-
a red carpet moment every single
Yes.
episode. And like she's still like in the beginning, she used to do it more. First, Julie has her outfits have very much changed a lot, right? It was in the beginning, it was very business newscastery, right? We're
Yes.
very like suits. Everything was like
yes.
then she started going for like the dresses and the like fun, kind of more fun dresses. And then she was like doing like the morning show host outfit look. And now she's just like Gen Z has dressed me. My stylist is a millennial trying to be a Gen Zer. And like
That's
there
actually
are
so
the
true.
jeans and my cool like bob. And then I've got the pink shirt with the leopard necklace. And it's like, I love what you're doing, Julie, but like, let's just, at this point, let's go for it. Season 26, do the whole thing.
I would
Yeah.
like her to do it and not mention it at all. Like
Yes.
have this huge wig and be like, I don't know what you're talking about. Just
Yeah.
go
please
100%.
vote.
Oh yeah, please gaslight everybody because
Yeah.
these people are
Yes.
sleep deprived and are trapped inside of a
Yeah.
soundstage. Make them think they're seeing things.
Yeah, that would be amazing. That would be
Now-
even better.
Here's the big question, Rachel.
Yes.
Who is better dressed? Queen Charlotte, Alan Cumming.
Oh, well, that's, Queen Charlotte has, different era of total regalia, right? And then Alan Cumming has like the Scottish regalia. So it's like, I would say Alan, to be honest.
Oh, okay.
I have to
Mm,
say, like, if we're putting wardrobe stylists against wardrobe stylists, I'm going to give the award to Alan. So,
but hair, yeah, Queen Charlotte. but,
hair for sure.
But you're
Queen
right. I get what you mean.
Should,
But
Al- should
wardrobe,
Alan
like,
should Alan make a cameo appearance next season when he's off doing traitor stuff? They're going to Scotland, right?
Yes, they are. That's true. He should. Oh my God, wouldn't that be? But that would be actually epic. See, again, the vibes. If they put Alan hosting traders or something like that, I would be okay with that. Like, go ahead, like have him come in as some sort of host, whatever. Like,
Yeah, he
maybe-
could, I think, teach Eloise about the world.
Well, I
Good,
think
that would
as
be
well.
and if he brings his dog, because
Oh,
Oh,
period.
yes.
Yeah, Newton needs a friend.
Well, I
So,
think to your
yes.
point about the small bedrooms, like, good God, these people seemed bored out of their minds. That no wonder they copulated like bunnies, considering that one of their party activities was, I'm going to read a riddle. And
Yeah.
you guessed the riddle. Like, oh man, throw a Game Boy in there or something.
Yeah, something. Well, it's funny because also I watched the I love the period pieces. And can't think of what the one is. Where they're set in Russia. I want to say it's Game On. It's on Hulu. But anyways, it's set in Russia and the girls, they go to the lawn and throw balls. And she's like, "What do we do now?" And she's like, "You pick it up and throw it again." And she's like, "Oh, yes." And so for me, I was like, yeah, that is they are bored. They have, that's why they're all artists and they learn to play various instruments and
And have
That-
lots of sex.
That's
Yeah.
the thing. Like, Benedict was asked, like, oh, so what do you do? Do you draw and paint? It's
Yeah.
I guess that's what you take up, especially when you don't have to work. How
Yeah.
else are you going to fill your hours?
right. Horseback riding, hunting fowl.
One day that will be my life somehow.
Yeah. Although I don't know if I think I was not if I was born in that era, I do not think I would enjoy it as much.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think as a brown woman, it's not working for me. But if I was
Maybe,
a white lady,
maybe
I
in
think
the Bridgerton universe.
Yeah,
in the
you would be
Bridgerton
in-
universe, I'm
You might
good.
marry Anthony.
Oh, yeah, please.
Yeah.
How lucky would I be?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just that lady who lunches is like a life I want to have one day.
Oh, okay. See, I'm like, I enjoy working, but
Ooh.
I also like, I think I have to be like busy doing stuff all the time.
Oh, that's real. No, don't get me wrong. I will be in everyone's business. And you know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like, I'll be hosting all the parties.
Okay,
Like,
okay,
that's what I would.
But I think, Rachel, what
then-
you'd be good at is like what you're currently doing with your children, which is like you're not getting them onto reality shows, but I think you would be hustling to get these kids matched up. Like
Yeah,
you would
yes.
be dropping in on all these different households,
Absolutely.
wheeling and dealing,
Yes.
bringing gift baskets over, hosting
Oh.
cotillions, being like, oh, we're
I
going to
would
make your
host-
matches.
I would host 1,000. I would be like,
Yeah.
once you pop them out, you start like inviting over the guests, right? You're like,
Correct.
hey, by the way, I'm having a dinner for the new babies because like I need to know all these and what are your intentions?
Yes, that's where I think you would kill it because you would just know who gets cast where, who goes where.
Yeah.
Like, oh,
See,
so good.
I would be so good. I would be in Queen Charlotte's ear. I would be the Lady Danbury.
And you know what? Honestly, like Lady Danbury kind of arguably does casting amongst the
She
ton.
does. Oh, she
Yes.
does. Yes. And even friendship casting. She's
Oh,
connected
yeah.
friendships. So I do find that she would, and Lady Danbury is also up in business with the townsfolk as well.
Mhm.
So she knows everything the townsfolk are doing. She knows about the dressmaker. She knew all about the dressmaker.
Oh yes, the modiste of
Madame
Modiste.
Delacroix.
indeterminate accents.
Yes,
Mhm.
so good. Ugh, another queen that
Yes.
doesn't get talked about enough.
Right. Yeah.
Ugh,
All right. Well,
yeah.
Sasha, there we
Yes.
go. You've got something up your sleeves for Rachel and I, do you not? Speaking of the modiste.
Oh.
Yes. So listen, I am inspired. Netflix India did a version of this. I have changed it up a little. So they did a Bollywood or Bridgerton storyline.
Ooh, okay.
So as you know, the self-proclaimed Bollywood queen, I feel like I needed to bring that to us today. So I'm gonna read like a few lines, and you have to tell me if it's a Bollywood storyline or a Bridgerton storyline.
Okay.
And it will be Queen Charlotte as well. Is
Okay.
part of this.
Okay.
So
But Bollywood, they're so over the top too.
yeah, a period. Okay.
Yes.
One day I'm gonna make sure we watch a Bollywood movie on this podcast.
Well, I want it to happen.
Sign
I'm
me
so
up.
excited to do
I
this.
would do it. I will do
Are
it.
you
'cause
serious?
I really actually love, I did on Amazing Race. I did a
Yes.
Yeah, you did the Bollywood dance.
I
Yes, I
know.
did.
Yeah.
And
No,
ever
I'm
since then,
obsessed.
I have actually been obsessed with the Indian movies and Bollywood dancing and all the fun
Oh my
things.
God. Do you know Shah Rukh Khan? Because that's my man. Okay.
No,
that's
but
my
I
man.
should know. So like let me know, text me, and
Yes.
then I will find out.
I will tell you all it's all on Netflix too, so you're good. But anyway, okay. So a couple's relationship is tested by the arrival of a charming and mysterious married stranger.
Ooh, Bollywood.
Ooh.
What do you think, Mike? Bollywood or Bridgerton?
I'm gonna say Bridgerton. The married stranger is peaking.
See,
my
I
interest.
think Married Stranger Bollywood, because Bollywood they do the infidelity. Bridgerton they don't really do it.
You tell me. Okay. Well, Rachel is correct. It is Bollywood. It is the movie Kabhi Alvida Na Kehna from 2006. Again, a Shah Rukh Khan movie. My man. All right.
Bollywood, Bollywood is like the soap operas on crack. It's
Yes.
just like their dramas are great and like
And
versus
unserious. Just so
Bridgerton, yeah. Bridgerton, like they don't do the infidelity. They
yeah,
wouldn't
that's
have
why
That's
I
true.
almost
Yeah.
took out the married stranger part. And I was like, no, that's cheating.
No, yeah, you're right. That you said before, like marriage is like the period at the end of the
Oh,
sentence.
yeah.
Yeah, we're bored.
You
That's
can-
what
you
they
can
want. That's all they look
throw
for.
it in wherever you want, but
Yeah.
once that ring goes on, you're mine.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Funny enough, most Bollywood movies also after they get married, you don't really know much about them. But this movie, they tried to be like edgy and cool.
Mm.
And older, whatever. So, okay, next one. A girl realizes she needs an F-boy to teach her about how to love herself because her mom ends up speaking about flowers.
Oh, that's Bridgerton, I think.
Yeah, Bridgerton.
I don't think Bollywood's as euphemistic as that.
Well, they cut to straight up, there's no kissing in Bollywood, right?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
There's no kiss. Well, now there are,
Oh,
but
okay.
not in the classics, which I have brought up. So yeah, they cut 2 songs. They never
To like
kissed.
sort of express their love for each other. Interesting.
Okay.
Yes. So yes, it is Bridgerton. It's Daphne.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what
Yeah.
I thought I remembered the flower metaphor.
Exactly. Okay, perfect. Next one. Oldest daughter is trying to avoid family obligations, but gets sidetracked by love thanks to insects.
Thanks to insects.
Like bees, like the birds and the bees.
I mean, it could be Bridgerton, of course, has that
Guys,
association
tell
with
me.
bees that
Yeah.
killed people.
I'm gonna go with Bollywood.
Okay.
I'll go with Bollywood as well.
It was Bridgerton. It's Kate.
Ah, dang it.
Yeah. where the
Oh,
bee
yes.
stings her. Yeah.
Yes,
And then that's how they
right.
find out
You're
they're in
right.
love.
That's right.
Okay. Perfect. And then next, a dad forces marriage onto his daughter, and the girl tries to run away, but her future husband charms everyone into marrying her.
I mean, that's definitely every romantic comedy story
Yeah.
ever. So that could be Bollywood, Bridgerton, and every single movie from the 2000s.
Yeah, D, all of the above.
Yeah.
I'll say this one's Bollywood because I can't think of like the Lady Danbury storyline she was trying to run away, but her brother stopped her, but it was not the happy ending. So I'm gonna say it's Bollywood.
Bollywood
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, it is Bollywood, but listen, Queen Charlotte, she also tries to run away.
That's very
is
true.
true.
Yeah.
And he charms her, so I thought
He
it
does
was
try, and
good.
he charms everyone. That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did that.
But yes, it is Dilwale Dulhania Le Jayenge, which is quintessential Bollywood watching. Movie was playing for I think 25 years in movie theaters.
Okay.
Just chef's kiss. Okay, and then we'll do one last one. A couple with different family backgrounds is wed in an arranged marriage because of the groom's royal status and the strategic alliance, but slowly fall in love despite all of this.
Queen Charlotte.
That's Queen Charlotte. Yeah, that's Bridgerton.
It's Bollywood.
Oh!
Yeah, but it is again a period piece, so I had to not cheat, but yeah, it's a Jodha Akbar where they are a Hindu ruler and a Muslim king and the Hindu wife. So,
But then I have a question because that's literally Queen Charlotte's
I know.
plotline too. Okay.
Oh, and that's
So,
all the above.
no, you're not
yeah,
wrong.
that was a both. That was a trick question, Sasha.
She got
Listen,
you.
we have to spice it up, okay, a little bit. But yes, that is it. Bridgerton or Bollywood.
I love that. Maybe we could come up with some more as in the
Yes.
15 years when the next season comes out. Rachel, do you have any other
Exactly.
thoughts about Bridgerton before we start cleaning things up?
I don't know if you hear all the chaos in the background.
It feels very adequate
We
to
love
this
it.
season. There's characters everywhere.
Characters every. No, I love it. I mean, I will watch again as we do every season that it comes out until they stop showing us it. And I'm excited. I love these scripted shows. I really love stories and television, and I grew up, that's why I work in television, and I grew up in television, and so I enjoy movies, but I truly love television.
What else are you watching? Any other scripted shows that you're really into right now?
Brendan said Hallmark. Yeah, I do watch Hallmark movies. I really do.
I
I have a
love
problem with the Hallmark and the Hallmark sitcoms and the Hallmark
The Christmas movies,
Yeah,
please, it's over for me.
So we watch House of Dragon and what else do I've gone through all of my shows. I couldn't watch the last 10 minutes of House of Dragons. That's true.
Yeah, very understandable.
Told Brendan, I said, nope, I've got to go to bed. I cannot be traumatized for the rest of the night. I'm going to have to not watch the ending of this. I will catch up next episode.
Very good call. Protect your peace.
Yeah. Only Murders in the Building. I really love that one. That's a fun one. That's coming back soon, I think.
The rare show that actually comes on every year.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. Right. It's such a good show too. It's very fun. We watch a lot of dramedy in our house. We love dramedies. Yeah, except I guess Bridgerton's Bridgerton's a dramedy, right?
Yeah, I think it is.
Well, it's tough, and that's the whole thing nowadays, right? Is what's a drama, what's a comedy? The Bear is a comedy, but it's basically a drama that has funny stuff in it. And Bridgerton has as much comedy as The Bear does.
Yeah. And I love every comedy, anything on Peacock I watch because I just love all their comedies. And I was sad that Girls 5 Eva went to Netflix. But I feel can watch it on Netflix. I was confused. Why would they have ever let that happen? Because it's such a NBC type of show.
I know, low ratings, I think, and just probably changing priorities. But Netflix's gain in many ways. I love Girls.
Yeah, no, it's such a fun show. Yeah, I love that.
Well, this was such a fun time, Rachel. Thank you so much for coming on, for offering your perspectives, for doing your pitch perfect YouTuber impressions. We got so much from this and more. What do you want to plug right now? Because you are booked and blessed, booking other people for shows. What do you want to plug at the moment?
Well, so we're doing a family adventure show. So I would love if anyone is watching that is it a family adventure or family adventurers, I guess, teams of 3. Please contact me. It's all over my Instagram. And then I do these like Amazon Lives on Mondays and Tuesdays. So if you are into Amazon Lives, please tune into that. And then just please tune and keep posted because I have a big announcement for something coming out, and I just can't say, but like it will be very fun when you do find out.
All right, so this is Rachel's equivalent of her saying she's going to Scotland. Those who know, know.
So I will say that if you follow me, you will probably find out.
Okay, very valid plug
and it is a really fun show. Very, very fun.
All right, Sasha, anything you'd like to plug right now?
Yes. As always, if you want to know what's going on in pop culture, why is Justin Timberlake arrested? Maybe listen. If you want to
tour, not the world tour.
Everybody wants to know that. Do you know what?
No, it's just listen. Come learn more on Mess Magnets. It is a pop culture vibes only podcast that Kirsten McKennis and I host on Rob Has a Podcast or Rob Has a Website /Mess Feed. So check that out. And listen, maybe we'll talk about Kate because Kate's back too. Kate Middleton. Why is she back? I don't know.
She's many back because she's doing public appearances again.
Yep. Listen, there's so many. I love a good pop culture conspiracy theory. So yes. Please,
I need to come talk to you about that.
Yes,
I went down that rabbit hole, and it was like a little bit too much going down the rabbit hole. And I actually was in the rabbit hole in the UK when the rabbit hole was like the deepest.
Did you go look for her?
Is that how you stumbled upon the Royal Gardens?
Actually, so that was one of the reasons I went. And then I was like, okay, I need to like find out every single thing about what's going on. I asked everyone that was a random person in the UK living at the time that I was like, so tell me about what's going on with, like, I'm an investigative journalist or something. Like I was literally asking, what's going on with Kate? Yeah.
Queen. What the
hell? I was trying to find out, everybody needed to know.
Did you see that where people think it's a facelift and that's why she was gone this whole time?
Yes, I love that. It's conspiracy. I love the alien conspiracy.
Yes.
She's an alien and had to go to her secret house and like, yeah, that was one of my favorites. There's some good ones out there.
Period.
Yeah.
Listen, if you like two girlies chatting like this, you're gonna like Mess Magnets.
I mean, this sounds absolutely incredible.
Yeah,
so be sure to check out what Sasha is doing. Check out everything that's happening here on We Know Scripted TV, as well continued coverage of House of the Dragon, Tastemakers, weekend programming with Josh and Antonio. Make sure you don't miss a beat of it. RobHasWebsite.com/scripted TV to subscribe to our podcast feed, and RobHasWebsite.com/YouTube, I believe, to link to the We Know Scripted TV YouTube channel as well, so you don't miss an ounce of videos to check out Rachel's beautiful botanical display behind her, it's basically like us experiencing the botanical gardens from our own.
Really, truly.
From the comfort of our own couch. That's going to do it for this week. Just as a heads up, next week I will be out. I'll be, I guess, going to Scotland to join Eloise and Francesca and John Kilmartin and the cousin. But Sasha will be filling in, and she's got a couple of good people, I think, to fill in and have a very fun podcast along the way.
Yes, it's gonna be fun, but we're gonna miss you, Mike. Come back soon.
Listen, I'll come back well rested like any proper Bridgerton and ready to take on the ton and a ton of stuff to talk about as TV for Real continues to ramp up. Thank you all so much for listening. Sasha, thank you as per usual. Rachel, thank you for coming on and talking with us.
Thanks for having me.
We'll be back next week with more reality and scripted TV. Until next time, everybody, it's been real.